All right, so we're here with Doug from ONC to talk about the NHIE and also Connect. He's the mastermind behind Connect. So first, Doug, tell us about Connect and its relationship to the NHIE and how they interact and what progress you've made today.
So the FHA Connect project is actually a project that is maintained, and the brainchild behind that is really Vish Sankaran, and he's the guy that sort of brought the software to fruition. The software has been through a number of iterations. It currently is being used by a host of both federal and non-federal partners. Kaiser Permanente, the DoD, the VA hospital, SSA are all using the NHIN Connect software to exchange information at this point.
Do we know how much information is being exchanged right now between them? Or are they pilots or are they actual?
We like to call them limited production pilots, in the sense that we've moved beyond sort of the early pilots, and we're in sort of a limited production phase in which we don't have everybody who could potentially participate a member of the community, but we are beginning to expand it and really trying to exchange real patient data with it as well. SSA recently announced a whole series of grants that will be used to support limited production pilots in which different agencies will use that to exchange real data with Social Security Administration.
All right. And what's the type of data that they're sharing across this network right now using Connect? Are there specific target areas, or is it just any of the medical data is possible?
Well, certainly SSA is interested in disability information, and so they've taken some of the existing standards and are using that as a mechanism to exchange data. The Medicare and Medicaid programs currently are not signatories of the legal agreements around FHA Connect, but they are very interested. They've been doing some pilot work already that has been using the FHA Connect, and so that work is ongoing and will likely involve some of the quality reporting metrics and some of the other things that Medicare and Medicaid are interested in.
And do you expect Connect will become the standard for this type of exchange, or is it too early to really tell how that's going to, or will there be other standards that are used? Do you have any idea?
Well, it's kind of hard. I mean, Connect is a piece of software that's built around standards, and so clearly those standards could be instantiated in lots of other applications as well. And in fact, we hope that there's a lot of people in the marketplace who will take the specifications that are related to the NHIN and incorporate them into the software that's available. So Connect is one of those instances of that.
Okay. And so you had Kaiser and some other organizations that are using it. Are they using it to share data between disparate organizations, or, like, for example, Kaiser, are they using it to share data between their own clinics or their own offices? Well,
it's sort of what you need to do is you need to go down to the interoperability showcase and take a look at all of the different agencies that are using NHIN and NHIN Connect to exchange information. There's, I think, 40 or 43 different groups that are using it to exchange lots and lots of different kinds of information. It'd be difficult to sort of pick and choose what would be a favorite, but there's a lot of different people that are using it.
And so what's the future of Connect and NHIE? What do you expect to happen, or what needs to happen to make it a reality?
Well, I think NHIN, the Gateway, and the Connect software have been very, very useful in sort of generating lots of interest, getting people talking about interoperability, and getting some of the very, very large organizations, the sort of health information exchanges, connecting and exchanging information using that software. I think what the future holds, though, is broadening the community that we have that is exchanging information. It isn't necessarily the case that every provider is going to have NHIN Connect sitting on their desktop and they're going to be using that to exchange information. We've been working very closely with the NHIN Working Group, that's the Federal Advisory Committee, to sort of provide advice to us about how to move forward. And they've given us some advice about NHIN. Their advice has been to broaden the community, to start looking at meaningful use and the kinds of things, the kinds of exchanges that are occurring there, to see if we can enable more point-to-point connections that don't require as much of the standards and services and policies that we otherwise would need and that currently exist within the NHIN and in the Connect software. And so there's some recent initiatives about trying to create a community that will help develop lighter weight specifications that will make it easier for people to meet meaningful use and exchange information using these new specifications.
So how does Connect, will it help doctors meet meaningful use, or will it just be one option of many, or how do you see that? How does it satisfy meaningful use?
I think Connect is an option to meet meaningful use. It's one of, we hope, many options. We think that the private sector will likely come up with some options. Connect is a nice open source tool to help provide some options for folks. And I think we want people to sort of use that and leverage that open source tools and infrastructure to help support that. It isn't going to be the only way. It will probably be one of the ways to get there to support meaningful use.
And do you see doctors going and getting Connect, or will it be EMR vendors that integrate Connect into their product, or what's the roadmap for adoption of Connect, or of those standards?
I think any of those are possible. I think with any open source software, you can either buy the software and get the operating system in your machine and make it easy, or you can try to use open source software and install it, but you have to be fairly sophisticated to do that. I think that's going to be a challenge for the small 1 and 2 doctor practices. They're more likely to get that as a service, or to get a piece of software that incorporates that directly, or to buy an off-the-shelf product to help support that.
But can you integrate Connect into an EMR if you're an EMR vendor?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, because it's an open source license and because it's very business friendly, there's no reason why you couldn't take some of that and incorporate that into some of the software. You could either take the code directly, because that's a possibility within Connect as an open source community.
Depending on their license, but okay.
Yeah, depending on their license. It depends on how you will be able to relicense it, if you will.
Sure.
But you also can just take the specifications upon which they're written and generate your own code. I think it provides a nice set of options, all the way from the open source code to the specifications that you might have to sort of other systems that are built to be interoperable with the Connect and the gateway specifications.
All right. So what's the most exciting thing about Connect, or the most exciting progress that's been made that gives you hope for the future of healthcare data interoperability?
Well, I think what we really need to think about is that I'm particularly excited about broadening the community that's going to be working and exchanging information with NHIN. So we have Connect as an instantiation of a piece of that, and as we develop new specifications around this NHIN Direct project, we think that that's going to open up a lot more opportunities for vendors. I think it's going to make, we hope will drive some innovation within the marketplace by creating easier to implement and lighter weight versions of interoperability. Those things will form the foundation, and we can continue to build on that. And we have members of both the Connect community right now that are using that software, as well as people who found it difficult to use Connect, coming to the table around this particular project to try to figure out how they can work together and expand the number of participants within the NHIN.
That's great. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.